Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're taking a look at AI in primary education today.
Sounds fascinating.
You bet. We got this guide for the University of Neapolis-Paphos in Cyprus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's got all these lesson plans that teachers are already using in classrooms.
Wow. So this isn't just theory. It's like,
Exactly.
it's real world stuff?
Yeah, real world, and they're already tweaking it and, improving it based on
So they're using it and then making it even better.
exactly. And
Yeah.
it kind of echoes those UNESCO guidelines on, integrating AI responsibly.
Right. Because that's a big concern for a lot of people. Like, how do we do this the right way?
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So imagine a classroom
Yeah.
where AI tools, things like ChatGPT and DALL aren't like the enemy.
Yeah,
They're like collaborators.
absolutely. And I think that's a key takeaway from this guide. It's about empowering teachers to use these tools effectively and ethically
Yeah,
and to really enhance the learning experience for young students.
I like that. It's like we were saying not the enemy, but
Partners.
partners, collaborators.
And it also addresses those legal things, like with copay, making sure that
Right.
Jordan's data is protected.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's a big one. So one of the key takeaways here
Yeah.
is that AI can make learning more engaging and relevant for these kids.
Especially for younger kids, who might not be as engaged in traditional.
Totally. Yeah, for example,
Yeah.
the guide includes a lesson plan where students learn about the Neolithic period,
Okay.
but not just by reading about it.
Oh, so they're not just in textbooks.
Yeah, they're using DALL-E
Oh, wow.
to visualize what a Neolithic village
Actually see it.
might have looked like.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's like bringing history to life.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond that, too. Another lesson plan
Okay.
uses ChatGPT
Mhm.
to explore complex issues,
Okay.
like the impact of the Industrial Revolution on their city.
So instead of just memorizing dates and facts, they can use ChatGPT to be what if?
Yeah, what if questions and consider different scenarios.
Totally.
Exactly. It encourages, like you said, critical thinking
Yeah.
and deeper engagement with the material.
I love that. And they could even debate, the pros and cons of a futuristic, eco-friendly city
Oh, that's cool.
versus one that prioritizes, unchecked industrial growth.
Yeah, so they're really getting into the implications of these historical events.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So speaking of critical thinking,
Yeah.
the guide also emphasizes teaching students how to use these tools,
Right.
ChatGPT and DALL-E,
hmm
ethically and effectively.
Because it's one thing to use them, but it's another to understand the limitations and the
Ooh.
potential pitfalls.
Totally. And
It's crucial for them to understand that these AI tools have limits.
yeah.
They can sometimes generate incorrect or even made-up information.
Really?
Yeah, which the guide calls AI hallucination.
AI hallucinations.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of unsettling.
It does sound a little bit creepy, right?
Yeah, can you explain a bit more about how those happen?
Yeah, so AI models like ChatGPT,
Okay.
they're trained on tons and tons of data.
Mhm.
And sometimes they can create outputs that sound
Okay.
totally plausible but aren't actually based in reality.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like they're making things up.
So it's not that the AI is intentionally lying.
Right.
It's just that it's
It's limited by the data it's been trained on
okay.
and the types of questions it can handle.
Gotcha.
So it's not that it's trying to deceive you.
Okay.
It's just that it has its own limitations.
That makes sense. And that's where teaching those critical thinking skills
Yeah,
alongside the AI use is so important.
Absolutely, because you have to be able to evaluate what the AI is telling you
Yeah,
and not just take it at face value.
for sure. For sure. And the guide also highlights a lesson that focuses on identifying fake news
Oh, wow.
using a checklist developed by Fact Check Cyprus.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that seems especially relevant
Yeah.
in today's digital world.
Absolutely. I mean, we're bombarded with information from all sides, so it's
Yeah.
more important than ever to be able to
discern.
yeah, to discern what's real and what's not.
Totally.
Yeah.
So this guide seems to offer a balanced approach,
Yeah, I think so.
embracing AI's potential, but also,
Acknowledging its limitations.
yeah, and emphasizing responsible use.
Absolutely. And it doesn't just stay theoretical.
Right.
It gives concrete, practical examples and lesson plans
Yeah.
that teachers can use right away.
Which I love. So it's
It's not just talking about it. It's like, here's how you do it.
yeah, exactly. Here's how you do it.
Yeah.
I love that. It's fascinating to see how the guide blends, creative applications with critical thinking.
Yeah.
Like, for example, there's one lesson plan that uses DALL
Uh-huh.
to visualize vocabulary words,
Oh, that's cool.
which could be super helpful for students who like learn best visually.
Absolutely, especially for younger learners who might not be as strong with reading and writing yet.
Totally.
Visuals can be so powerful.
Yeah. And then another lesson has students like creating stories.
Oh,
And then they use ChatGPT
okay.
to like generate comic strips based on their stories.
Wow, that's amazing.
So AI is like generating comic strips.
Yeah, from kids' stories. That's really cool.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, it really sparks their imagination.
Yeah.
And encourages them to be creative.
For sure. So it's like we're not just teaching them about technology.
Right.
We're teaching them with technology.
That's a crucial distinction, I think.
Yeah.
It's not about replacing teachers with robots.
Right.
It's about giving teachers new tools to make learning more engaging and effective.
And more fun, I bet.
Yeah.
So this guide seems to like strike this great balance between embracing AI's potential,
Yeah.
but also emphasizing the teacher's role
Right. The teacher is still essential.
in guiding and facilitating learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So we've seen how this guide emphasizes like responsible and ethical AI. It provides concrete lesson plans.
Yep.
And it highlights the importance of critical thinking.
For sure.
What else like stood out to you?
As like particularly innovative or exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's really fascinating here is how the guide encourages a shift in thinking about AI in education.
So,
Like instead of seeing it as a threat or
Right.
something that's going to replace teachers, it presents AI as a collaborative partner
yeah.
in learning.
I like
So
that.
it's like moving from this mindset of fear
Yeah.
to one of empowerment,
Right.
recognizing that these tools can actually make learning better
Yeah.
for both teachers and students.
Totally. And that's like what we were talking about at the beginning, like.
Yeah, it's about collaboration, not competition.
Exactly.
It's about working together to create a better learning environment for everyone.
I love that.
Yeah, and that shift in thinking, like you said, can lead to a more engaging and personalized learning experience for students.
Speaking of personalization, like the guide also mentions using AI
Yeah.
to make individual learning paths for each kiddo, right?
Right. It highlights how AI can like tailor instruction to each student's needs and learning style.
I love that.
Like imagine a platform
Yeah.
that adjusts the difficulty
Okay.
and pace of a lesson based on how the student's doing.
In real time.
Yeah, like in real time.
That's wild.
So it's constantly adapting to their needs.
Yeah, that sounds like a total game changer,
Right.
especially for students who are maybe struggling to keep up.
Yeah, or those who are like way ahead and need more of a challenge.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like having a personal tutor
Yeah, like a personalized tutor for every student.
for every kid.
Which is amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And this type of like personalized learning,
Yeah.
can help students feel
More motivated.
more motivated.
More engaged.
And that leads to
Better learning outcomes.
better results.
Right.
Yeah. And this isn't just like a theory.
Right.
Like it actually gives real world examples
Yeah.
of how this stuff is already being used.
Like right now in classrooms.
Yeah, like one lesson plan focuses on using DALL
Okay.
to explore the idea of cubism.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Right.
So they're using AI to teach art.
Yeah, and like make even complex art concepts.
Right, because cubism can be a little tricky
Yeah, a little bit.
to grasp.
Totally. So instead of like passively looking at a Picasso,
Yeah.
they can use DALL
Mm-hmm.
to create their own cubist images.
So they're not just observing, they're actually creating,
Yeah,
which is way more engaging
way more engaging.
than just reading about it in a textbook.
For sure. For sure. It's like they're stepping into the artist's shoes.
Yeah, they're experiencing cubism firsthand.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just creating the images.
Right.
They also have to analyze and critique
Oh, that's interesting.
the AI-generated images, right?
So they're not just accepting whatever the AI produces.
No, they're comparing them to their original descriptions.
Oh, okay.
And like looking for any differences.
So they're developing their critical thinking skills?
Yeah, and their visual literacy skills.
Because they're having to analyze what they're seeing,
Exactly, and they're not just accepting it.
right? They're thinking critically about it.
They're evaluating the output.
Exactly.
And this process of analysis and critique
yeah.
can also help them.
Improve their language skills.
Yeah, like their descriptions.
Because they have to be more precise
Right.
and intentional with their words.
To get the AI to create what they're envisioning.
Right. It's like a feedback loop
Yeah.
between language art and AI.
That's so cool. And the guide also mentions how they adapted these tools for younger learners.
Right.
Like there's a lesson plan for first and second graders.
Wow, that's young
I know, right?
to be using AI.
That uses ChatGPT to help them create comic strips.
Oh, that's adorable.
Isn't that cute?
Little kids making comics with AI.
I know, it's amazing how these tools can tap into their creativity
Yeah.
and their storytelling abilities at such a young age.
And I bet they love it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like seeing their stories come to life.
As a comic strip,
Yeah, that's got to be so exciting for them.
I can just imagine their faces.
Yeah, all lit up.
It's such a clever way to motivate them to write.
And to think visually.
Yeah, about their stories.
Because they have to think about how to translate their words into images.
And it introduces them to like visual storytelling.
Yeah, and comic strip conventions.
Yeah, like panel layouts, speech bubbles, how to convey emotions through pictures.
It's giving them the building blocks for future creative endeavors.
Whether they become writers or artists or who knows what.
Exactly. It's opening up all these possibilities.
And speaking of foundations, the guide also stresses grounding this AI education in ethics.
Oh, that's important.
Super important.
Because it's not just about what AI can do.
Right.
It's about what it should do. Like, we need to make sure that we're using these tools
in a way that benefits everyone.
Right, and doesn't create more problems, like perpetuating biases.
Or inequalities.
Exactly. We have to be careful about that.
For sure. And the guide gives practical advice for teachers on how to address these ethical considerations.
So it's not just saying be ethical. It's like, here's how.
Yeah, here's how you actually do it.
Yeah, which is really helpful.
I'm glad they included that.
Me too. Because it's a complex issue.
Yeah, we need to give teachers and students the tools to navigate this,
ethical complexities?
Yeah, the ethical side of AI.
In a thoughtful way.
Yeah, in a responsible way. And this goes beyond just the classroom.
Right.
Like the guide also emphasizes involving
parents,
the community, the whole community in the conversation.
Yeah, because this affects all of us.
It really does.
We need to be having those conversations.
Open and honest conversation.
About AI in schools.
Yeah, about the potential benefits.
And the challenges. Exactly, because there are both.
For sure. It's about like fostering a culture of informed consent.
Yeah, and shared responsibility.
Yeah, as we like navigate this
new frontier in education.
Totally. Okay, so we've seen how this guide provides lesson plans.
Yep.
It emphasizes critical thinking and ethical considerations and promotes this shift in thinking about AI as a partner.
Right, like a collaborator.
Yeah. What else did you find noteworthy?
One thing that really stood out to me was the guide's emphasis on professional development for teachers.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of teachers might feel intimidated by AI.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot to take in.
Especially with how fast it's changing.
It's evolving so quickly.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming to keep up with it all.
Exactly. And then on top of that, figuring out how to actually use it.
In the classroom.
Yeah, in a teaching context.
Right.
It's a big challenge.
So that's why the guide like advocates for
ongoing professional development.
Yeah, to give teachers the knowledge and the support
they need
to feel comfortable
and confident using these tools.
Because at the end of the day, AI tools can be super valuable, but they can't replace
a good teacher.
A good teacher.
The human element is still so important.
The expertise, the creativity,
that connection.
The connection
that a teacher brings to the classroom.
Yeah, I totally agree. And this guide seems to recognize that.
Yeah.
Providing this framework for AI integration.
That supports teachers.
Yeah.
Not replaces them.
And it's important to remember that this is just the start.
Yeah, we're still in the early stages.
Of AI in education.
It's going to keep evolving.
Yeah, and we can expect to see even more like innovative and exciting applications.
Absolutely. Like we haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Right. This guy gives us like a sneak peek.
Yeah. A glimpse into the future of learning.
Where AI is like seamlessly into the classroom.
Yeah. Where it's just part of the learning experience.
Empowering both teachers and students.
To reach their full potential.
I love that.
Yeah.
But as we like embrace all these new possibilities, it's important to be cautious.
Right.
And thoughtful.
And always keep the students' best interests in mind.
At the forefront.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because ultimately it's all about them.
It's all about creating the best possible learning experience for them.
I couldn't agree more. This guide from the University of Neapolis-Paphos, it provides this valuable roadmap.
For sure.
For navigating this new world.
This AI-powered world of education.
Yeah, it's an inspiring example of how educators
all over the world
like embracing the potential of AI
To transform learning.
for young minds.
Yeah. It is exciting to think about what's next, as AI keeps getting better and teachers find new ways to use it.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of new stuff,
Hmm.
I'm curious about other AI tools besides ChatGPT and DALL.
Oh, yeah.
Did anything else in the guide stand out to you?
Well, there's one lesson plan that uses this tool called Midjourney.
Midjourney.
Yeah, it's another AI art generator, but it has a different vibe.
Oh, how so?
It's more artistic and dreamlike.
Interesting.
It's known for making these surreal and evocative images.
Oh, wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
How are they using that with primary school kids?
So the lesson focuses on reimagining The Little Prince.
Oh, wow, I love that.
Yeah, it's a classic. And they use Midjourney to create images,
Okay.
but in this really unique style.
So they're using AI to bring this story to life.
Yeah, but in a totally new way.
I love that. What's really interesting is they use Midjourney to create images of the Little Prince that challenge the traditional way he's shown.
Oh, wow.
Instead of the typical image, they explore different genders, races, cultural backgrounds, even physical abilities.
That's amazing.
It's such a powerful way to encourage students to think beyond stereotypes.
And to expand their understanding of representation.
Yeah, in literature and art.
It's a great example of how AI can not only enhance creativity, but also promote inclusivity and diversity.
Yeah, and it sounds like this lesson is encouraging kids to think more deeply about the story, to consider different perspectives and interpretations.
And it can spark conversations about important social and cultural issues.
Totally. This deep dive has been so fascinating, looking at all the ways AI is being integrated into primary education.
It really has.
We've seen how it can enhance creativity, foster critical thinking, promote inclusivity, personalize the learning experience.
And it's clear that AI has the potential to be a really powerful tool for educators.
Yeah, and this guide from the University of Neapolis-Paphos gives us this great roadmap.
A starting point.
Yeah, for navigating this new world responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely.
It's inspiring to see how teachers are embracing the possibilities of AI to make learning more engaging and effective for kids.
It really is. And it's exciting to think about what the future holds.
Yeah, for sure. So for you, dear listener, this deep dive has given you a glimpse into the amazing potential of AI in primary education. It's not about replacing teachers, but giving them new tools.
To make learning more meaningful.
More enriching for their students.
It's been great exploring this with you.
Likewise. Until next time, keep those minds curious and stay tuned for more fascinating deep dives into the world of knowledge and innovation.